165,000. That is 1,65,000. That is 1,65,000. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. People like me and you. We often think that we're just very young. I mean, we're 24 years old, 25 years old, 20 years old, 21, 22, 23. We think that we have a long time ahead and we plan for it. We plan for it for 60 years, for 50 years. We have long plans and short plans. We plan for tomorrow. We think that we're going to be alive tomorrow. We plan for tomorrow's meeting, to meet these people tomorrow, to go to class tomorrow, to do the assignments for tomorrow, to go to work tomorrow. We plan for a lot of things tomorrow while we're not even sure that we're going to be alive tomorrow. How many of you are 100% sure that you're going to be alive tomorrow? Say yes in the chat. If no, say no in the chat. If yes, say yes in the chat. If no, say no in the chat. So we're planning for something we have absolutely no guarantee about. Subhanallah. Today, from 12 o'clock to tonight, 12 o'clock, that is 24 hours. 165,000 people would have died. 165,000 people, subhanallah. 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 It's really, really deep, which means every single second, 2 people are dying. Every single second, 2 people are dying. And these people are people just like you and me, with flesh, with blood, with bones, with a brain, with plans, with dreams, with desires, with fancies, with whims of what they want to do in the future, who they want to be, with aspirations, just like you and me, with interests like you and me, with hates and wants like you and me, with parents, with brothers, with sisters, with a family. And they all think that they're going to live for a long time, but they died yesterday. They never knew that angel of death was going to visit them yesterday. But the more we think about death, the more we think about, just give me 1 minute. Excuse me, can you hear me? I'm audible, can you hear me? Oh, I got a call. So what we need to understand is tomorrow is not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, but we live in this delusion that tomorrow is guaranteed. We always plan for the future, subhanAllah. And today, what we're going to do in this brief session, inshallah, is break that and properly plan. Properly plan the way that we are supposed to plan. Inshallah, that's what we're going to do today, inshallah. Let us do a small exercise. Today is going to be a very, very brief session. You guys can see the screen, right? I hope the screen is visible. Is the screen visible? All right. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, عُمْرُ أُمَّتِي مِنْ 60 سَنَةً إِلَى 70 سَنَةً, which basically means the age of my ummah is between 60s and 70s. 60s and 70s. Type your age in the chat, my dear brothers and sisters. Type your age in the chat. How old you are, type it in the chat. So we're having people who are 23 years old, 22 years old, 14 years old, 22, 15, 49, 26, 42, 25. Okay, we're going to do a very, very simple activity. All right, we're going to do a very, very simple activity, inshallah. And we are going to do this so that we get a full visualization of our life. Now, this calendar that we see in the screen, this is like every week of the year. How many weeks are there in a year? There's 56 weeks in a year, or 54, depending on the months and leap years, etc. But generally speaking, we have 53. All right, let's take it as 53. Now, this is one full year. Let me just take my pen. Okay. So this is a signifier of years, and this is your age. So this is actually the first year. All right. Now we have all completed first year, but science says that we can't remember what we lived in the first year. Does anyone here remember what you did in your first year of your life? Do you remember what you did in the first year of your life? Absolutely not. Until your age of 3, your memory is not formed in the brain. So it is not possible for you to remember what happened in the first 3 years, but some people might remember what happened in the third year because of, your brain basically developing. So we don't remember what we learned in or what we lived in the first 3 years. So we're just going to cancel the first 3 years. Going to cancel the first 3 years. Okay. So that is first 3 years gone. Now, statistically speaking, a lot of people who are above their 60s, do you think it is fully possible to do all things that you want and work on every project that you want and try to reach your target after the age of 60 to 70? Is it practically possible? Is it practically possible? No, because usually what happens is after the age of 60 or after the age of 55, our body is going to shut down. Our body is going to stagnate. Now, I'm speaking in general terms. It may not be the exact case with all people, but generally speaking, after the age of 55, it is not going to be possible for you to live a very healthy lifestyle. Unless you have already taken care of your health and you're living a good lifestyle. But generally speaking, after the age of 55, your life is not going to be that productive. Or after the age of 60, or let's take it as 60. So let's cut 60 from this equation. Let's remove 60 from this graph. So this is 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. All right. طيب. So this is gone, and the above is also gone. All right. Like there's nothing that can be expected of you at this specific age. Okay. Now I'm going to count till 60, 25, inshallah, because that's probably the most, general category of people here. We're going to do a very small visualization activity. I want you guys to remember what you did in your 4th year. I want you to close your eyes and remember what you did from your 4th year till your 10th year. All right. So just close your eyes, breathe in and breathe out. Close your eyes, breathe in and breathe out. 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 I want you to remember what happened in your 4th year, the things that you did in your 4th year. You may not remember it exactly, but try to be as sure as possible of what you're thinking. Just remember what all you did in your 4th year. Remember what you did in your 4th year. Now remember what you did in your 5th year, the times you played with your parents, the places that you went, going for trips, whatever you remember, try to think of it. Now remember what you did in your 6th year, probably joining school, going to kindergarten, studying, playing with your friends, coming home, going to trips with your parents, happy memories and sad memories. Try to think of what you did in your 7th year, the places that you went to, good memories, bad memories, crying, fighting, getting shouted at by your mother or your father. Try to remember what you did in your 8th year. Try to remember what you did in your 8th year, your friends in your school, your earliest school memories, going for trips in your school, going to class, studying for exams. If you went for tuition, think about that. Now try to remember what you did in your 9th year. Now try to remember what you did in your 10th year. If you're in 10th year or your age is 10, that means you are in your 5th standard. So you're going to school. Remember whatever school you went to. Think about the examinations, the textbooks, reading, writing, playing. You played football, whatever games you played. Think about that. Coming back home from school, waiting for the school to end, waiting for a lot of things in life. Your aspirations about the future, your dreams about who you wanted to be. Going to school in the morning, waiting for the school bus, or walking to the school. Just try to imagine every single thing that happened when you were at the age of 10. Okay, just breathe in and breathe out. Just breathe in and breathe out. Just breathe in and breathe out. While breathing in and breathing out, just continue thinking about all the things that happened from the age of 4 to the age of 10. Just continue thinking about it. Breathe in and breathe out. Just breathe in and breathe out. Now breathe in and breathe out a bit more faster. Now slow down your breathing again. Now I want you to think about what you did from the age of 11. Think about age 11. You're probably in your 6th standard. Think about what you did in your 6th standard, your school, your exams. You're crying, you're laughing, you're becoming sad, depressed, disappointed, regret, happiness, joy, euphoria, smiling and laughing. Think about all the good and bad memories. Think about all the good and bad memories. Think about all the good and bad memories. Now, age 12, think about what you did in your age 12. You are right now in your 7th standard. Think about your studies, your madrasa, your religious and non-religious studies. You're going to the masjid, you're playing with your friends, fights with parents, conflicts. Because right now you're a teenager. Think about the sins that you committed. Think about the sins that you committed. Think about the good deeds that you did at the age of 13. Now think about what you did at the age of 14. Think about what you did at the age of 14. All the aspirations, your dreams, your desires, your whims, your fancies. About who you wanted to be. You're going for coaching, games, playing games online with friends, playing games on your computer, your PlayStation, whatever. Playing with friends outside, going out with friends, talking with your parents, with your mother, with your father, the foods that you ate. Now think about age 14, where in which you are in your 9th standard. You are in your 9th standard. Now think about all the memories in your 9th standard. You have now passed to the 10th standard. You're told that 10th standard is the most important part of your life. All the tuitions that you went to, working hard, studying hard, going out with your friends, all the bad habits that you delved in, haram things that you might have fallen into, the things that you saw, the things that you heard. The things that you desired, being told again and again to go and study, you're preparing for exams and the exams are coming closer and you're having exam fear, stress, anxiety, trying to deal with it. And then you wrote your 10th standard examination, you're entering the hall, Continue thinking about your memories. Now, some of you are 15 here, so as we move ahead, inshallah, you can continue thinking about your own lives and your own memories. Think about those forgotten memories. Now, when you look back into your life, you're introspecting. And memory, there are three levels of memory. Let me not go into the psychological theory, but the thing is, a lot of memories are hidden. A lot of memories are forgotten, but it is still there in your mind. So try to pick it out. Try to think about it deeply. Think about the situations that were very stressful for you, and think about the situations that were very joyous for you. Continue thinking about it. But the people who are above 15, inshallah, we're going to continue. Think about your age 16, joining for +1, looking for schools, trying to find a good stream, going to counselors, doing tests, trying to talk to your parents, trying to talk to your friends, trying to wait for your 10th standard admissions, results of your exams. Think about all the stress that you went through, anxiety that you went through for joining +1. You joined your +1, you remember your school, you're entering to your school the first day of school, entering to the class, meeting new faces, finding new friends, the challenges that you had to go through again. Just think about it very, very clearly, very, very vividly. You're trying to study as best as you can. You're trying to find new friends, the problems that you had to go through with your friends, the fights that you had, the conflicts in home. Because right now you are in your middle teenage phase, and there are going to be a lot of conflicts. The confusions that you had about yourself, you trying to find who you are, the identity. You being very body conscious, being conscious about your beauty, being conscious about who you are, trying to find answers to specific questions, family problems. Think about everything you had to go through, the dreams and the desires. You're studying for exams. There's a lot to study. You're going for tuition. Some of you guys might have gone for entrance examination, training, tuitions. Think about that as well. You complete your age 16, and you go to age 17. You go to age 17. Think about your +2, studying exams, going for tuitions. Think about the lessons that you learned from life. Think about everything that you did in your +2, going to trip with your friends from school because it's the final year in the school. A lot of aspirations and a lot of anxieties about what you're going to do in your future. Because right now it's the last year of your schooling and you're entering a new stage of life. Think about all the memories that happened in your +2. Let me just give you 1 minute to think about it. Think about the beautiful memories that you had in your school, the wonderful people that you met, and the people who left an impact in your life. Now think about the bad memories, the people you had to fight with, the people who shouted at you, the people who looked at you with prejudice, and the people who put labels on you. Think about the conflicts that you had with your friends, with your parents, with your teachers. Now you're approaching your final examination for +2. You're studying really hard, getting training classes from your school, being told that this is your defining phase of life. You're told to put your best. You're studying and studying, keeping alarms after alarms to wake up early in the morning, trying to pray the Hajjud, trying to be on deen. But you also remember the sins that you committed, the sins that you and your Rabb only knows. No other person in the world knows it. And your Rabb has protected your dignity. Think about the haram things that you saw, the haram things that you did with your hands and with your legs, the haram things that you told with your mouth, the words that you used, and you knew that you were going to be held accountable. You knew that you were going to be held accountable. Think about it deeply. Now think about the good things that you did, and you are in your age 17 and you have gone to 18. And here your final year exams of your plus two has finished. You feel that relief in your heart. Your anxiety is gone, but now you're anxious about your marks. And now the next question is, what will I do with my life? Which department should I join? Which college should I join? Which university should I join? And this stresses you out, but you try to keep your cool, trying to find your path in life. You found a college, you're trying to register to a lot of colleges, you're waiting for your plus two results. Think about the day that you got your results and you're finding how many marks that you got. Think about the happiness or joy you felt, or think about the sadness you felt. Your relatives calling to find out how many marks that you got. Think about all the memories related to getting the results. You applied for certain colleges and now you're waiting, you're spending your vacations and whatever you did during your plus two vacation. And now you've got the results from your college. You have joined a college. You remember the first day you went to the college with a lot of dreams and aspirations of who you wanted to be. You go to your first day in your college, you go to your first class, first day in the class, and then you meet a lot of new faces, new people, and then you meet with them, you talk to them. Now, some of you might be in your first year right now, some of you might be in your second year or third year, but whatever year you are right now, I'll be moving ahead, inshallah, but whatever year you are right now, stay there, and then if I have passed your age, go back to your life and try to find out forgotten memories. So you are right now in your age 18 and you have gone to age 19, the last year of teenage. And you think about your memories, your college life, the people you met, the bad influences and the good influences. A lot of bad habits started happening. How your worldview changed. You're either becoming more liberalized or you're growing close to the deen, or nothing or no development is happening. The first college day, freshers day, activities, festivities, festivals, associations, clubs, studying quite a lot, trying to meet the target. You're now doing your first semester examination. You're all prepared because now you're very serious with your studies. And now think about your second semester examination, which is the end of your first year, and now you pass on to your second year. You're right now close to the age of 20. You've got to the age of 20. Think about the dreams and the aspirations of the age of 20. You feel like you have become a grown-up man or a grown-up woman. Now responsibilities slowly start pouring in. You're trying to find a part-time job. You have a lot more responsibilities in your home. People don't look at you as a child. The child phase is gone, but you're trying to navigate through this world and you're confused about your responsibilities. You're confused about who you are. You're confused about your personality. You're confused about your character, who you are, what you are, why you are, where you are going, and what you want to do with your life. Think about the conflicts that you had with your friends, the stress that you had to go through, meeting certain people who you might take with you as you go along, or the people who you will have to dissect or detach from your life as you move on. Think about all the teachers that you met, the influence that they had on you, the things that told you, some of it right and some of it wrong. You think about all the lab experiments you had to do, or if you did not have labs, you think about all the people that you met in your college life, the second year of college life, you are in your sophomore year. You think about the bad things that you did in your life, the bad behaviors, the bad habits you got into. You knew you shouldn't be doing it, but you did it anyway. You knew you shouldn't be seeing it, but you saw it anyway. You knew you shouldn't be speaking it, but you spoke it anyway. You knew you shouldn't be getting into those relationships, but you got into it anyway. You knew you should be controlling your heart, but you corrupted your heart anyway. You're trying to improve yourself, you're crying and regretting your decisions. You're trying to fight your desires. Everyone around you is engaging in something filthy and you know it, but you're trying to fight the monsters, trying to fight the demons of the 21st century. You're trying to find answers to the doubts that you have in your mind. Try to remember the organizations and associations you joined in. Now you have passed on to your third year. That might be final year for a lot of people. You're doing your third year. Some of you might have gotten married by that time if you're a girl. Think about your marriage. Think about all the people that you were in search of for marriage. Think about the aspirations you had for marriage. Think about your dreams for marriage, preparation for marriage, you finding a person to marry, you meeting with him and talking to him. You share with him your aspirations of life. You have a lot of expectations and he has a lot of expectations. Think about the nikah day, all the stress that you had to go through, all the anxiety that you had to go through. You're in your age 20 right now, and you have gone to age 21. By now, might have gotten married, so think about the experience or memories of marriage. But for others, I want you to think about whatever you did at the age of 21. You have almost finished college, and now you have finished college. You feel like a stranger in your own college. The 3 years that you spent in college while you were a student, you felt you were connected to the college, but now nostalgia kicks in. And now you have become an alumni of your own college. Think about the last time you went to the college and you took the answer sheets or grade sheet or whatever it is called, and you're walking out of the college. And think about the last time you look back, the memories you made with your friends, and the impact that it left in your life. Think about age 22. You have now went to age 22, searching for jobs, trying to apply to jobs, getting into masters, trying to write entrance examinations. All the challenges you had to go through at the age of 22, and now you have reached 23. Think about all the challenges that you had to face at the age of 23. Think about age 24. Now you're growing and you're getting stressed. Responsibilities are piling in. A lot of people that you met, you are seeing deaths of your own friends. You're seeing some of your friends growing in their life and some of them stagnating in their life. And now think about age 25, job, profession, marriage life, the conflicts in marriage life, your expectations of your marriage life, going through a lot of challenges. Now your wife is pregnant or you're pregnant if you're a woman, and a lot of the pressure that you had to go through at the time of pregnancy. Think about your first son or your first daughter. You're fighting a lot of pain. And your husband is supporting you, or either there's a lot of friction in the family. Think about the time that you had to go to the doctor to get medications and you're having a lot of expectations and hopes. Think about the time you had to go to the hospital lost for pregnancy for the delivery. and you remember yourself getting into the lab. And now you are in a lot of pain and the delivery is taking place and you were patient through the pain, and then you hear the cry of your first child. A new life is born. And now he or she has to live through the same life that you lived through. I want you to breathe in and breathe out. Be relaxed. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Just breathe in and breathe out. Just breathe in and breathe out. Now I want you to go back to your life again from the age of 25 to 0 to the age of 3 when your memory was formed. Think about all the memories that you had or you just experienced. Just go through a flashback of your life. A flashback of your life. Age 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 5, 3. Just breathe in and breathe out and open your eyes. How many of you feel that life has gone really, really, really fast? How many of you feel that life has gone really, really fast? Say yes in the chat. If no, say no in the chat. If you feel that life has gone really, really fast, type yes in the chat. If no, say no in the chat. And I want everyone here to type it, inshallah, so that we can have an important discussion. I hope you guys can see the screen. If you have reached the age 25, you have already finished this much of your life. You guys are right now looking at the life that you're having, the calendar, and so much of it is already over. Let me just mark the aspect that is already over. And let me just delete it from the life. So this much is already over. And you're never going to get it back. What is gone is gone. Now I'm talking about age 25, all right? If you're age 40, then you would have reached here. And after the age of 60, as we already discussed, there's not much you can do with your life. So let us also blacken that. Okay, I want you to look at the calendar that you have right now in front of you. The only years you will get to live are these. All right, I'm talking in terms of probability. Like I'm talking 90%. For the 90% of people here, the life that you're going to live is basically this. From the age of 25 till this. Now, you never know whether you're going to live it completely. You might just be right now, as you look into the calendar. How many of you can see the calendar? Say okay in the chat. If you can see the calendar, say okay in the chat. You might actually be right now looking at the exact week that you're going to die. From the age of 25. If you want, you can just zoom in till the age that's left. You might actually be looking at the day you die right now. It's right there in front of your eyes, but you never know. You have no idea what it is. You have absolutely no idea what it is, but you're just looking at it right now. The day your ruh is taken out of your body. كل نفس ذائقة الموت. Every single soul shall taste death. And it's a very, very powerful, powerful, powerful thought, my dear brothers and sisters. And I have this calendar with me. I look at it every day of my life. And I try to do that. I've printed it out. How many of you want to print it out? Do you guys want to print it out? If you want to print it out, inshallah, a good quality PDF will be posted in the Mentorsa website. You can go there, inshallah. You can print it out. It will be shared in the COG groups, inshallah. And I do this, when I wake up, I look at this specific calendar and I mark, like if 1 week is over, just like how I marked with color here, I mark it. Like I put a cross with a red mark. Put a cross with a red mark. It gives me right perspective in life. But oftentimes, since we live a very fast life, the 21st century, it's a very, very fast life. Fast food, fast delivery, fast cars, everything is fast. We often forget where we are going. But then when we have the right perspective on life, the life actually becomes much less stressful. If we always think that the more we think about death, the more stressful it becomes. Well, in reality, the more you think about death, the more you get the right perspective of life. And the more you get the right perspective of life, what happens is you live a much less stressful life, a much less stressful life, subhanAllah. And I've personally experienced this. I have personally experienced this when I went to Hajj this year. And I think I've already shared it during a session that we had. Let me share it again. I was doing a Hajj, Alhamdulillah, and it was, Alhamdulillah, the most beautiful, beautiful experience of my life. I've traveled quite a lot, Alhamdulillah. I've traveled to probably almost all the countries in GCC. I've traveled through India. I've met a lot of different people, and I've had different experiences in life. But I have never had the experience like that of Hajj. It was like very, very deep. I met a lot of interesting people, Alhamdulillah. A lot of interesting people, a lot of insightful experiences. But then one of the most shocking things was basically to see people die right in front of my eyes. Now, Hajj, subhanAllah, there are a lot of people who die. How many of you have seen the reports of people dying in Hajj? Say yes in the chat if you have seen that. Like you might have seen like this many people died in Hajj, or some news reports of people dying in Hajj. How many of you have seen that? A lot of people died in Hajj because this Hajj was specifically very, very hard. It was really hot. The sun was right above our heads, subhanAllah. Now, subhanAllah, I saw people die right in front of me. I do specifically remember I finished my Jamrah. I threw the stone at Jamrah, and now, Alhamdulillah, that is on Dhul Hijjah 10. I remember the exact date. After Dhul Hijjah 10, right after throwing my Jamrah in Jamrat al-Kubra, I came out of the place of Jamrah, and then I'm walking directly. I'm just really, really, really tired. I've not slept for 2 days properly. I've been walking under the sun. I've not had proper food. I've not had proper water. I just feel very nauseous, like my head is really hurting bad. But I'm also having the satisfaction in my heart, but Alhamdulillah, that I'm going to finish one of the biggest obligatory deeds that a Muslim has to do. And it's a very, very powerful feeling. It's a very, very powerful feeling. I got out, and now I'm trying to find a restaurant to, have some food. I directly found a restaurant. I think the restaurant was called as Matam al-Hashi or something like that. I went to the restaurant. I bought some food. I got a coupon, and I'm waiting right now for my turn. I came out of the restaurant because it was very crowded inside. So I came out of it, and I thought I'll wait outside. And suddenly I saw a man drop. The man, he's probably the age of my father, close to 55 or 60. He looked Egyptian. He was very tall. He was wearing the ihram. He dropped dead right in front of me. Now everyone is trying to help him, trying to put water on his face, but there is no movement. He's not reacting to anything. The people, the workers in the restaurant, they got some cold water from the fridge. They're putting this cold water in his face, and he's not responding. I'm looking at the dead body right in front of my eyes. Now I'm seeing a man. And I saw a man just like me. I saw a man who has flesh, who has blood, who has dreams, who has aspirations, who probably has a family, who has a wife waiting in his home, who has children, young children waiting in his home for his return for Hajj from Hajj. And none of his family members know that he's dead right now, while I'm seeing the dead body right in front of my eyes. Suddenly, a Pakistani doctor, he came. He came for Hajj, but when he saw this man lying in this dirt on the soil, he came and he's doing CPR. He's pressing on the chest, and the man's body is literally shaking from the vibrations, but the man is not responding. They try to press his chest for minutes and minutes and minutes. Maybe 5 minutes has passed. The man is not responding, and the doctor puts his hand on his hands, on the man's hands, and he's trying to find the blood beat, but nothing. He then puts his hand, the doctor puts his hand on the man's neck, the veins on his neck, and no response. And the doctor then opens the eyes of that man who has just died. And then the doctor says that the man is brain dead. The man is brain dead. He's either dead from heat stroke or whatever the reason is. And the doctor, he stands up and he leaves. And I couldn't feel anything. It was like my whole mind went numb. Until then, I was thinking about the future. I was thinking about going back to my room. I was thinking about getting food. I was actually planning a lot of things in my mind. I want to do this after Hajj. I want to go back to Medina, meet with the Sheikh. I want to continue with my lessons. I want to continue with my talab al-ilm. I want to do this. I want to do that. And our mind just keeps on working. We think about our future. We think about our profession. We think about our marriage. We think about the projects we want to do. We think about a lot of things in the future. And just like me, I'm pretty sure this man was also thinking that. While he never knew that angel of death was right behind him. He never knew that the angel of death was right behind him. And subhanAllah, angel of death came and angel of death took him. And angel of death was right in front of me while I never knew that. Angel of death, one of the most scariest angels that's out there. That angel was right in front of me and I never knew it. I never felt it. I never saw it. I never heard it. I never felt it, subhanAllah. And this man is dead. And I stand there and I felt like my entire body, I was just feeling very, very tight in my chest. And I felt like tears dropping from my eyes. Because I thought, how different am I from this man? How different am I from this man? We have such a life in which we plan for the future. Well, we never know when death is going to come. Subhanallah. I entered the restaurant again. I did not feel like eating. I felt like the hunger that I felt for the past 2 days, it just went off. I couldn't feel the hunger again. I had the coupon in my hands. I did not feel like eating. I went outside the restaurant again. I found a man. I think the man was from Pakistan again. I gave him the coupon and I said, eat. I just gave it to him as a hadiyah. I saw that he has a family as well. And I just walked off. I did not wait to talk. I did not feel like talking. I did not feel like listening. I did not feel like thinking. It felt like my whole world went numb. I kept on walking and walking and walking. I did not know what direction I was walking, but I was in Mecca. I was under the heat of the sun, but I just continued walking. And I thought about this verse in the Holy Quran, أين المفر? Ayn al-mafar, where do we run to when death comes? There is not going to be any running. There is not going to be anyone who can protect you from death. Your father, your mother, your beloved husband, your beloved wife, your brothers, your sisters, your sons, your daughters, your uncle, your aunts, your grandparents, none of them can protect you. Your status is not going to protect you, regardless of whether you're a founder of an organization, whether you're a CEO, whether you're a director, whether you're a manager, whether you're a daily wage worker, whatever profession that you have, it is not going to protect you. How many millions of dollars you have in your bank account, you can't protect you. This man who died right in front of me, he came for Hajj, which basically means he had the money to spend it on it. He probably has money in his bank account waiting for him, but nothing of it is basically useful to him. And then I continue walking, and then I suddenly feel very, very thirsty. My throat starts feeling dry. And I enter into another restaurant. I buy a bottle of water. I drink the water and I come out of the restaurant and I saw another old lady just collapsing right in front of me. She collapsed right in front of me, subhanAllah. I just look at her. She's a very old lady. She's probably the age of my mother. Look at her and I want to help her, but there's a lot of women surrounding her trying to, help her stand up, etc. So I just give space to that. And then they're putting water on her face, and I don't know what her situation is. I don't know whether she's like collapsed due to the heat, or whether she has died. I don't know. But then a lot of women started coming to help her. So since it was a lot of women, I felt like I shouldn't be standing there, and I walked off. And subhanAllah, that day I got the right perspective on life. It felt really, really deep. And I felt like a sense of peace I've never felt in my life, because I'm a person who I constantly plan for the future. I plan for everything that I do in my life. Morning I wake up, I open my Triple M journal and I plan for the day. I plan for the next week, I plan for the next month, I plan for the next year, I plan about the courses that I want to do, I plan about my profession, I plan about things, I plan about the places I want to travel to, I plan about everything. And that creates a lot of stress. I don't know how many of you can relate to me. How many of you plan for your life? Like you plan for the week, you plan for how many of you do that? If you do that, say yes in the chat. And if you have that planning kind of a personality, then you would obviously go through a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety about the future, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to reach, etc. There's a lot of planning that's going to be there. And I don't know if you are what your age is, but if you're in my age, I'm 24, there's going to be a lot of responsibilities that come into your life, and there are going to be people who ask a lot of questions to you about your future. And that'll also put you in a lot of different stress. But then after that experience of seeing these people die right in front of me, nothing mattered. My mind became calm, calmer than I've ever felt it. Like no thoughts entered my mind. Nothing mattered anymore. The plans didn't matter. The thoughts didn't matter. The dreams didn't matter. The aspirations didn't matter. My mind just became very, very calm. And I finished Hajj and I came back to Medina. My mind was calmer than ever. I was going through a lot of challenges. Even now, a man has his own challenge. But then when you have the right perspective on life, which is fundamentally based on death, when which you're preparing yourself for death every single minute, every single hour, none of this stress will matter. The desires that you have deep inside you, the desire to, let's say, find a good profession, or the desire to marry, all the desires that you have in your heart, it'll make no sense. Because death is what? Death is actually the destroyer of all desires. That's why the Prophet Muhammad said in a hadith in Sahih Bukhari, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أكثروا ذكر هادم اللذات, which means remember often the destroyer of pleasures. And what is the destroyer of pleasures? It is death. The more you think about death, the more it destroys your desires that you have deep within you. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. So death, if we live our life by expecting death, what happens is we actually live the most beautiful life. I remember coming back to Medina, and oftentimes, like when we have classes, like we keep on thinking about information, etc. But then after that, when I put death in front of my eyes, nothing starts mattering. During Hajj, I actually lost a lot of my documents, which Alhamdulillah, after coming back to Medina, Allah gave me back. If we lose a lot of our important documents, we become extremely stressed. But after going through that death experience, I did not feel anything in my heart. I feel like, Alhamdulillah, Allah has taken it away from me. If Allah wants, He will give me back. If Allah doesn't give me back, let me do whatever I can to get it back. That's it. Let me have tawakkul. I did not feel stress. I did not feel anxiety. There were situations in which I had that were anxiety provoking after Hajj, but I did not feel any anxiety. It was just life, and I'm just flowing through life, expecting to die. Subhanallah. It was very, very deep. That's why, my dear brothers and sisters, we need to have the right perspective on death. When we have the right perspective on death, we will not have grudge for people. Imagine someone did something to you, that hurts your soul, but you will not want to take vengeance. You will not feel angry at him because you know that you will die today or tomorrow. It is not going to matter. It is not going to matter, subhanAllah. And I spent about a month in Medina. I was with the Shaykh and I was talking to the Shaykh about various matters. We were studying discussions, alhamdulillah. And before a month, I left Medina and the Shaykh, he gave me a gift. And the Shaykh, alhamdulillah, he gives a lot of gifts to his students. But the last gift that he gave me was this. He gave me a kafan. He gave me a kafan. Does anyone know what a kafan is? What is a kafan? Type it in the chat. What is a kafan? What is a kafan? Kafan is actually the white cloth, the burial shroud. He gave me 3 pieces of clothes, the burial cloth, and then he gave me a nasiha. كن في الدنيا كأنك غريب أو عابر السبيل. Ya Wafi, be like a traveler on this world. Be like a stranger in this world. And I took this cloth and I put it in my luggage and I'm carrying it everywhere I go. And I often, when I pray, I use my burial shroud as the musalla. When I stand on this musalla of the burial shroud, this kafan, my mind becomes calm because I know that this same kafan I'm going to use to cover my insignificant body when I die. And that's the only cloth that matters. Whatever clothes that we wear, the coats, the suits, whatever it is, none of it is going to matter. Your status is not going to matter. Your dignity is not going to matter. Nothing is going to matter. People will wash your dead body and they will cover you with that same burial shroud. And when I pray, standing on this kafan, subhanAllah, it just feels different. Prayer feels different. And I carry this burial shroud wherever I go. I'm going to go to India, inshallah, within a few days. I'm going to carry it with me. When I have my burial shroud in my bag, it just gives me the right perspective on life. What I'm trying to say is this, my dear brothers and sisters. Live your life expecting to die. People think that it's a very negative thing. No, it is not a negative thing. It is only negative for you if you're an atheist, if you're a Christian, if you're a Buddhist, if you're a Jew, if you are a pantheist, if you're a monist. That's when it becomes negative for you. But for you as a Muslim, when you are a mu'min, the world is a sijn, is a prison for you. And death is actually the day you become free. You become free, subhanAllah. And when you have the right perspective on life, you start preparing for it. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا مات ابن آدم انقطع عمله إلا من 3 صدقة جارية أو علم ينتفع به أو ولد صالح يدعو له. The Prophet ﷺ said, when a person dies, all his deeds come to an end except 3: ongoing charity, beneficial knowledge, or a righteous child who prays for him. You try to gather these things so that you can prepare for death. SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. So it is extremely important we look at life through the lens of death, my dear brothers and sisters. When you look at the world through the lens of death, you feel no anxiety, you have more tawakkul, and you don't get into sins. Your life becomes more purer. You will be able to forgive people very fast, and you will also be able to enjoy life to the fullest. And that's how the Sahaba lived their lives, and that's how the Salaf lived their lives. That's why we need to have the right perspective on death. And everyone will die. You will die. I will die. I will not. I do not know that whether I will be alive tomorrow. Let me just conclude, inshallah, with a very, very important thought. When I was going to Egypt, I had a friend whose name is Aflah. Aflah was a very good friend of mine, alhamdulillah. I met him before going to Egypt. We had a conversation. He was telling me that I want to do this, I want to do that in the future. Alhamdulillah. Amazing, brother. Amazing, brother. I went to Egypt and I heard the news of his death. There was another friend that I had. Like, I went to Medina, and this brother, like, he was from Egypt. He's studying in the medical college of Cairo University. His name is Raid. He came to Medina and he said he wanted to meet me, but I couldn't meet him. I couldn't meet him because I had a lot of studies and works. I thought, I told him, you know what, I'll meet you when I come to Egypt, etc. I try to give excuses. And then Rai sent me an audio message. He said, Inshallah, we will meet. Anyway, I have 4 more years in Cairo. So when you come to Cairo, do let me know. I have five more years of study or 4 more years of study. I thought I would meet him. Little did I know it was the last time for me to see him. He died in a car accident. Even I think last week, it was last week, I still heard the news of another student, a girl who died in Cairo University from the medical department in India. So people are dying, my dear brothers and sisters. We are 25 years old or 24 years old, and we think we have a long life ahead. Don't think like that. That is a delusion. The more you think like that, the more you're deluding yourself. You get sucked into this matrix of life, this drama of life that is not going to matter anyway. So prepare for death. Turn to Allah before you return to Him. Say astaghfirullah. Say astaghfirullah. If you died the next day, prepare yourself for it. Expect to live your last day today. Forgive those people who have hurt you and pray to Allah for their forgiveness. Whoever has hurt you, forgive them, inshallah. Just forgive them. Just forgive them. Those bonds that you have, maybe some of the people in your life, maybe your relative, you don't have the good bond with them. Call them up. And if there has been any problem with them, just correct it. Because you may never know when it is the last time for you to meet them. Just correct it. Just have good bonds with people. Just give them good advices and good suggestions and give them good knowledge that you have so that can be your sadaqat al-jariyah. So prepare for death, my dear brothers and sisters. When you prepare for death, when you expect to die, when you look at the world through the lens of death, your life becomes beautiful. And that is a very, very important lesson I've learned from my life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all with a good death. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all with the ability to raise our hands and raise our forefinger and say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, and die. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all with the opportunity to die as a shaheed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our deeds. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite us all in Jannah as companions, just like He united us here as companions for the dunya, but for working for His deen. آمين يا رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا إننا نسألك حبك وحب من يحبك وحب عمل يقرب إلى حبك. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.